Pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
So you got your email stating that you have been accepted, you've been called into an interview. Now what? All right. Well, we've gone through many of the different questions, the steps, the things that you need to be preparing for, how to prepare, how to establish rapport. Now, what I wanted to address is the basic things of what you need to do before and after your interview. Okay. So once you've accepted, once you've opened your interview invitation, what is the first thing you need to do? Well, when you receive this interview invitation, usually the schools will prompt you on what you need to do next. Either they will give you a list of alumni that you can choose, you can select from to have your interview, or they will give you the name of the alumni that will be conducting your interview, or they'll send you the name of the AdCom member with a couple of different dates for you to select in order to do either an on-campus or an on-site interview or a Skype interview. That's the first step. Is once you've received that, then okay, you need to start taking your first steps. If you get a list of alumni that you can select from, that's awesome, because you could just LinkedIn all of them. Choose the one that you feel best, kind of, you feel comfortable with. Go with your gut instinct. Okay. Usually, when you look at somebody, you can tell right away whether or not you're gonna like him, or depending on his or her history. You feel like maybe this person has a lot more to do with me. You can even select the person who is actually working on something that you plan on doing in your future goals. If that's the case, select that person, because that's a great way to ask him or her questions at the end of your interview. Like, I'm going into your industry. I'm going to actually kind of follow in your steps here. I really wanted to know, what kind of pointers can you give me? What kind of tips can you give me? That's a great way to create a connection. Okay. Once you've done that, you need to make sure that your CV is up to date. If you have business cards, be sure that you have some. You put a business card together with your CVs. Put them in a binder or a folder. Any one of those transparent L ones. You're going to take that to your interview. Okay. If you don't know why, then go back and watch the preparedness video, being prepared video. Also, anticipate the date of your interview. Now, usually schools tend to give you anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to actually do your interview, to complete your interview. But unfortunately, once in a while, because of availability, because of outside external forces that are not either in your or the admission committee's control, it might end up being in a few days. Either way, if you are watching these videos, I'm really hoping that you have more time to prepare, because that way you can practice. Should you forego practicing with me, I have practice matrices that I want the friend to give you feedback on. That way you know how to improve. So I'm basically kind of doing like a crash course on a little bit about being an interview coach for your friend or your family member who can help you out. If not, find a good coach near you and sit down and have a talk with them. It's always good to get a second opinion. I'm cool with that. I get third or fourth opinions, especially when it comes to my children's health. We go to different doctors just to see what all the things that they're saying and what's the common denominator there. What can we take away from each one? So that's up to you, but definitely practice. That's the whole point. I don't care who you do it with. Practice. If you don't practice, you're in trouble. So rehearse until you sound not rehearsed. Okay, you want it to sound natural, and you want to be able to use the spiderweb method or the bullet points in any way, in the best way possible, with comfortably. I don't want you to be like, if they ask a question, I can't have you thinking, can I have a second, please? I'll take this one from here. No, you want it to come naturally. You want to make sure that you're delivering the key points that you have set your mind to delivering, and doing so efficiently and clearly. Of course, you want to make sure you deliver clearly. So definitely practice. Be sure to confirm your interview via email, and then on the day of the interview, the day before the interview, what you shouldn't do is go out and drink and party, no matter what. It could be a very special occasion. Then you shouldn't have chosen that date. You should have chosen a different date. Get some rest. Get some good rest. What you need to be doing before you rest, sit down, is reread your admission letters, your application letters, reread your recommendations, reread your CV, and make sure your whole story is well-rounded, and kind of get those key points in there in your mind. You can even draft, work on your spiderweb, and really just get yourself prepared to thinking about the interview on the next day. When you do go to sleep eventually, obviously get some really good rest, because you're going to need it. You don't want to show up kind of tired and scraggly, unless that's the way you look every day, all day anyway. Even then, you do need to kind of lift up your expression and make sure that you're lively. Nobody wants, contrary to popular trends on this fascination for The Walking Dead and zombies, nobody wants to interview a zombie. And nobody wants to interview a robot. So be sure you act natural. You want to get these facts and these storylines down comfortably. On the day of your interview, I would suggest showing up early. Show up early, depending on where you have your interview. Sometimes interviewers would choose their own offices. In that case, show up an hour early. You only want to announce yourself 15 minutes before, 10 minutes before, so you don't act like, okay, I'm here for an hour now. But what I mean by being there about an hour before is you want to avoid any unexpected events. Maybe an accident on the way, a flat tire maybe on the way, traffic jam. You want to avoid any of those things. Just get there early. And don't go into the office or go announce yourself just yet. Walk around the neighborhood. Go have some coffee or something across the street. Just chill out in the lobby a little bit. Just kind of watch people. Just people watch. What happens is, while you're sitting there, your body is getting accustomed to your environment. Your mind is getting accustomed to that location, because even though you don't perceive it at first, being in a different location changes your ability to, alters your mindset in the set of just being uncomfortable. Even though you don't feel uncomfortable, your mind is like, whoa, it's a lot of new information to take in right now. If we're taking in information, then it's going to be hard to be giving information. So what you want to do is allow yourself to let the environment soak in. And then also you'll have an extra time to kind of review your notes again, review your CV and your application essays. And you avoid being late. You're there early. So use that to your advantage. I'd say, immediately after you've announced yourself to the secretary or whatever, find a restroom. And remember, in the establishing rapport video, or in the preparation video, how to prepare video, I tell you about Amy Cuddy's power pose. And that is fantastic, because yes, indeed, our bodies affect our minds and our minds affect our bodies. I love Amy Cuddy. I love what she's doing. I truly believe in her. And all the students that I've spoken with after their MBA interviews who have done the power pose before and they come out feeling much better. They feel like they've done as best as possible. They're very confident of their interviews, and many of them have been accepted. Almost all of them have been accepted. So definitely power pose, just boom, boom, boom. Get there, because you're gonna get it. You want to get it, you're gonna get it. You can be confident in yourself, right? That confidence will shine through. Your smile will be natural when you meet the person, when you meet the interviewer, and it's going to be okay. You also calm your nerves down by doing this, so I suggest you do so. All right, so you had your interview, you did fantastic, everything was great, you answered the right questions, you answered the questions correctly, you asked them the right questions, you guys shook hands, the guy seemed genuinely interested in you and really liked you, you're walking away. Now what do we do? 24 hours after your interview, you send a thank you email. Again, the thank you email I'm going to include in this whole package. There should be a PDF or a Word file, but it's basically just thank you so much for your time. You don't want to go overboard. You can't be like, oh, I'm very eager and excited to be able to be a part of your community. No, just say looking forward to being part of this community, and thank you so much for your time and your attention. Here's my contact information for your reference should you ever need it, and please feel free to call me, contact me anytime if there's anything I can help you with. John Doe, future world changer. That's my thing, but you don't put future world changer. I'm just saying. And it's very simple, but this is a courtesy email, just thanking them for their time, for making themselves available for you. This is extremely important. It's proper business etiquette. You must do it, and it's kind of like following up on the person, making sure that they know that you appreciate their efforts and their willingness to step outside, like go away from their get out of their kind of go out of their way to help out a fellow candidate. All right. Afterwards, then it's just a waiting game. Oh, this is the fun part. This is the part where everybody complains. It's just, oh my gosh, it takes so long. But what you can be doing during this time is, take a break, relax a little bit. Try not to think about your outcomes just as yet. You don't have to be so concerned. Wait, no is not a no until there's a definite no. Until the fat lady sings and you can't smoke your cigar or not. You have to wait for that acceptance letter. During this waiting period, I also suggest that you try to attend a few MBA alumni events. Okay, usually alumni events they occur once a month, depending on the city, maybe even twice a month, or once every quarter, depends on where you live. But find out. Well, how do I find this out? Ask the guy who just interviewed you. He's an alumnus. He might know where there's an alumni network nearby you. So get in touch with him. Or even ask him during the interview how you can get in touch with these clubs, and in that way you can kind of start mingling and getting to know your fellow seniors. This all kind of comes into play as far as being beneficial to your overall candidacy, so it's good. Plus you get to know other people better, and you get to continue getting a feeling of what school you would like to choose in the event you were accepted into more than one school. Cool. All right. That's good for now. Why don't you let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I'll try to get to your emails as soon as possible. This is Mateo Chang signing off. I'll see you guys soon. Yeah?
Yeah.
In the next video.
I could use a dream or a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this. Cause after all the partying and smashing and crashing, and all the glitz and the glam and the fashion, and all the pandemonium and all the